But don't be afraid of what these motherfuckers come up like, man, stand boldly. All right? Nehemiah 1 and 5. Psalms 47. These motherfuckers be seeing us standing out here with Bibles in our hands. They'll turn around and go the other way. Man, no.
Hey, look, I got to preach something. What you were saying. Like somebody come up and disagreeing and shit. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter. This is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their face, and thy forehead strong against their forehead. Because in this truth, we stand boldly, bro. Like, we don't care how you feel. We know that what the Lord, these scriptures are true. You know what I'm saying? Verse 9, and an adamant harder than the flint, I have made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. You know what I'm saying? Jacob get pissed off. You know what I'm saying? While you in front bringing out this word. And man, all that tough guy shit do not move us, bro. You know what I'm saying? What, we your enemy not because we tell you the truth? Fuck you.
Nehemiah 1 and 5, Psalm 47 and 2.
I got this Nehemiah 1 and 5, you said? This is Nehemiah 1 and 5. I have said, I beseech thee, O Yahweh, power of heaven, the great and terrible power that keepeth covenant and mercy for them that love him and observe his commandments.
Oh, it says, only for the ones, they call him a great, terrible power, but only for the ones that's gonna give mercy. I mean, he keeping his covenant that was with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And how do we know that we love him?
Keep his commandments.
Okay.
That goes to show you the Lord only have mercy on his people. You know what I'm saying? Because they the only ones that can keep the law.
The ones that can keep it. You know what I'm saying?
This is Psalms chapter 47, verse 2. For Yahweh Most High is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth. He shall subdue the people under us and the nations under our feet.
Now, who is he speaking to here? That's Israel, bro. It says, he is a great king over all the earth. He shall subdue the people under us. Now, who's supposed to be under us? All the heathens.
The last one.
All right? It says, and the nation under our feet. So every other nation belongs up under us, bro. They're not shit. Psalm 65 and 5. Chapter 66.
This is Psalms chapter 65, verse 5. By terrible things and righteousness wilt thou answer us, O power of our salvation, who art the confidence of all the ends of the earth, and of them that are afar off upon the sea.
Y'all go chapter 66, read 3 and 5.
Psalms chapter 66, verse 3. Say unto Yahweh, how terrible art thou in thy works?
That don't sound like love, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Let me look at the definition for terrible. Very shocking and upsetting, very bad or unpleasant. Now this is speaking about who they call God, bro. It says intense fear, exciting, extreme, or alarm. Bro. Strongly repulsive, obnoxious. But y'all love. Fear. Fear, bro. Wouldn't you fear somebody? Hey, wouldn't you fear somebody who can tell the water, hey, I don't want no ripples in you today. It's straight plain. And then listen.
How could you punish the water? I'm gonna dry your ass up.
She said, boom, snap my fingers, the water don't move at all. Bam. And they have to listen.
Hey, look, and Yahweh Shai did the same thing in Matthew 8 whenever they was all in the boat and they was all rocking and swaying. And it's like, bro, little faith, like, just chill. And the water was still. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
power, bro. Use that 66.
We had
He
to
said, continuing on from verse 3.
Jump to 5.
All right, this is Psalms chapter 66, verse 5. Come and see the works of Yahweh. He is terrible in his doing toward the children of men.
That's it. Go ahead, read that.
Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. So, you know what I'm saying? Speaking on how terrible the Lord is, a man that's all love not gonna be a man of war, bro. You know what I'm saying?
They don't want to give you how about Shimei shot just balance, bro.
Done. And that's what keeps the people asleep. Like if he always love you, then he ain't gonna never do nothing to you.
How can he correct you and chastise you if
At the same time?
you just straight love?
Yeah.
It's Daniel 9:4. And I prayed unto the Lord my power and made my confession and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful power, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. It's going to how the Lord, it say the Lord is a great and dreadful power. So if something dreadful to you, hey, you real terrified of it.
Hey.
In a shaky stance, like, man, that's just power, bro.
Psalm 76, 12.
Look, bro, this is just a case right here, bro. King Solomon was a man of the Lord. He was a man of the Lord. Yeah. He was Yahweh shot for, you know what I'm saying? For the brothers in the know. You know what I'm saying?
That goes a lot of
You know what I'm saying? He was a man of the Lord. And he did everything through the wisdom and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. And whenever the problem came about that this chick, her son had died, and the other one, she was trying to take this other chick's son, and he was like, well, hey, look, through the spirit of power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, we gonna cut this motherfucker in half. And that would have been righteous, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, well, hey, what type of power, all loving power, you know what I'm saying, gives that type of wisdom if he was all loving? You know what I'm saying? That's just the point.
Psalms chapter 76, verse 12. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth.
99 and 3.
To the kings of the earth.
Upstairs, bro.
This is Psalms chapter 99, verse 3. Let them praise thy great and terrible name, for it is holy.
Great and terrible. Every time he gives it, he gives good and he gives bad. You know what I'm saying?
Because the name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremiah 20:11.
Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 11. It says, but the Most High Yahweh is with me as a mighty, terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten.
Break it down. Break it down.
It says, but the Most High Yahweh is with me as a mighty, terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. The everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten.
So what you have is, sounds to me like protection. The Most High with you.
Amen.
Therefore my persecutors shall stumble. So everybody that come up against us, even if they try to talk against the scriptures to where we actually debating or whatever, they gonna stumble up. Because when truth, hey bro, one thing that stands still, truth stands still, bro. The truth's always gonna stand firm. Like, you can't move the truth, bro. And we come over here on slave ships, you can't move it. It's unshakable. It's facts. All right? So,
Oh,
you
the
cannot,
nation
yeah, you cannot move the truth. That's what the truth is. It's unshakable. You can't do nothing for it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Against it, but for it. All right, Zephaniah.
This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 11. Yahweh will be terrible to Salat. Yahweh will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, everyone from his place, even all the isles of the heaven. Oh, Salakia, even all the isles of the heathen.
So everybody, they don't realize when the truth stands firm and it's here that you can't move. The truth can't be moved. Okay?
And while the heathens gonna fear him, because what, he gonna come through and he gonna show them that great power that he has.
Just like he did in Egypt, with the Egyptians. All right? What did he do? He used Pharaoh. He used Pharaoh to be what? A whipping stick to the children of Israel. All right. So after they went through the Red Sea and all that, Pharaoh realized, and it said, like, if you watch the old Ten Commandments, like, their God is God. You know what I'm saying? He said in the Romans the same thing. It tells you the same thing. It said for the same purpose that I used Pharaoh, I used Esau to do what? To harden. He hardened his heart. And what did he do after that? He sent him after the children of Israel again. That's why when you read in Jeremiah, it tells you that it's no longer going to be said that the Most High brought the children out of the land of Egypt, but out of the land of the north. Okay? That's why when you in the scriptures, it's a beautiful thing to understand who's who. That's like step one.
It's like when you're reading the book, you got to know the main character.
You got to know the characters. Okay, so if we know that we are these people and these people are those people, it makes it, the understanding goes broad then. All right? So we're at 43 and 29. What's going on, man?
No, but I'm just listening to y'all, man.
Got a question? I know it's intriguing.
I'm enjoying this, my brother. I like this, man.
All right.
I
Well,
like this.
well, give me that sound right there. Just to basically let you know what we're doing. According to the Bible, we've been lied to. All right. These 12 tribes, these are what they're known today when we came into slavery. This is what we're biblically known as, because if you look in the Bible, you never see African American, you never see Russian, you know what I'm saying? That's the trick. And I'll even go a step further. When you think about it, who on the planet is black?
Who on the planet?
Who on this planet is actually black? Nobody. Who on this planet is actually white?
Nobody.
Now look at those definitions. White, pure, holy, separate, black, degrading. You know, it's negative. But that's things that they tied to our minds when we came over here to basically to shun us. All right, so I can show you in the Bible where the word nigger actually comes from a Latin word niger. If you look in Acts 13, yeah, if you look at Acts chapter 13, the first verse, they call them niger. The word nigger nigger comes from the Latin word niger. It just means black. It just means dark skin, like Padar. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger.
They called them niger. They called them because they were dark skinned. The one that they ignorantly called Jesus Christ looked just like us, very dark skinned. But
You know that? Yeah.
but the thing is, 1492, when the Renaissance came about, the Dark Ages. What's his name? King James.
Oh, King James. Yeah.
King James. Okay, he had a group of men put together. The thing you know is the Bible,
49
because it had to make its way over here, because the one that they call God knew that we were going to be over here in America after we were rounded up and shipped to everywhere. Because when we fled in 70 AD, you had
Roman prostitution.
so-called Negroes, Latinos and natives. The Latinos and natives had already left, but it would be who you call Negroes, Jamaicans, and Haitians. Okay, they took those last three tribes, and then you had Romans come in, and they dispersed, they ran, they scattered, and they went into Africa, and then they migrated, and then when we got to a certain point, the west coast of Africa, you had the Arabs, and you had the so-called white man, and you had the Africans, because we're not Africans. Okay, took us, round us up, and sold us, and that's when we were dispersed throughout the full. And all of this is in the Bible. When you read the Bible and you know truthfully what it's saying, this is our history book. That's what it is. And we were dispersed, and the one they ignorantly called Jesus Christ, because that's not his name. Jesus is Latin. He was a Hebrew. Okay, so if he was Hebrew, why would you give him a Latin name? And the letter J
Didn't come about until the year, 1422?
No, it was like
1622
Yeah.
for 1649.
Yeah, so the letter J was the last letter put in the English alphabet. So if he was on the earth 2,000 plus years ago, and the letter J didn't even exist, how could you be calling him that then? Like that's very like somewhat disrespectful. Like if your name is, what's your name?
Marlon.
If your name Marlon, and I keep coming up to you and telling you, what's up, Todd? I mean, you're not gonna acknowledge that because that's not your name. You wouldn't name your child a Chinese name because that's not of your nationality, of your lineage, you know? And all the time passed and you have the one they call Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew, and the father's name is Yahweh. So if your grandfather was here and let's say 1,000 years up the road, you knew how your grandfather looked. 1,000 years up the road, they got him painted as a Korean man. You know that's not accurate, but that's what they done in 1492. What's his name? Pope Alexander VI of Rome had Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo paint
Cesare Borgia.
Cesare Borgia, his youngest son, as the new image of who they call Christ. And you know what's crazy? They just sold the image for $450 million a couple days ago of the same thing. Exactly, of a fake image. But you can Google all this, man, and like it's just so crazy, bro. That
Who is Yahweh in the Bible?
nah, that's Yiddish. That's Yiddish.
German, that's German, and German and Hebrew put together.
Yeah, that's two English they took and put together.
I
That's
think
Yiddish.
it came about in the 9th century.
Yeah, so that's like that's not not actual Hebrew. That's like a broken tongue. They just took two languages and basically put them together. But the original tongue is called the Lashawan Kodash. It's like the ancient Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, and you have his name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. That's the Father's name and the Son's name.
So what y'all doing? Like, I mean, like, what is y'all like actually doing? Like,
Waking our people up, because what's about to happen to America in the Bible is that you're gonna have 12,000 men of each one of these tribes. They're gonna wake up and do what we're doing right now. It's brothers all across the planet right now doing the exact same thing.